Welcome to How It All Started podcast in North Iowa. My name is Erick Nganyange, and my guest today is the owner, founder of Cornish Family Chiropractic, Brett Cornish. Brett, how are you, man?
I'm doing very good, Eric. Thank you for having me.
Let's go back. Born and raised where?
Born and raised, actually, I was born in Akron, Iowa, so it's all up in northwest Iowa.
Okay.
But I was raised in a little, even smaller town, is Ironton, Iowa. Ironton, yep.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, a small one. It's right next to, we were 18 miles away from Sioux Center, Orange City, and Lamar's. Those were kind of our little bit bigger towns that people know up there.
Yeah.
A lot of people know Lamar's because ice cream capital of the world is Wellswood Bunny is up there, so a lot of people know that one. That's where I was from. But yeah, that town was only about, like I said, about 600 people. So it's pretty small.
Oh, wow. So you went to high school there?
No, actually I did elementary school there until 5th grade. And then they bring us together to Haywarden, Iowa. And then that's where we go to, we had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at our middle school. And then our high school was there as well from freshman year to senior year.
Okay. When did you know you want to be a chiropractor?
I would say probably my 8th grade year, 7th or 8th grade year. I really kind of got into it a little bit at that point in time. My mom was a OR nurse, OR and ER nurse, military as well, military nurse. Yeah, so I knew I wanted to do something kind of medical, but I didn't know exactly what. When I saw what she was doing, everything that she was doing was more for emergent care. I wanted to do more things towards the preventative side. So then when I took there's like a lifestyle course and like a profession course or whatnot that we had in 8th grade. The chiropractic was on there as one of the things. I was just kind of interested in it. So went and shadowed the local chiropractor, and it just kind of grew from there.
Wow. Now you graduated high school. Where are you going next?
After high school?
Yeah.
After high school, I went to Iowa State. So, went down to Iowa State.
ISU, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Graduated.
I should know that because I seen you wear ISU gear a lot.
I sported around here every once in a while. So. A little more now this year. They were doing pretty good in football. They slid a little bit, but now I wear it a little bit more.
What did you study in ISU?
So Iowa State, it was pretty unique. The first 4 years that I was there, I was actually going to end up with a liberal arts and science degree. They did not have anything specialized for chiropractic there. So I was taking all the courses that I needed to get to go to Palmer, because I went to Palmer for chiropractic school. Okay. But in order to get into there, they just had the prerequisites to fill. However, my senior year, I got very fortunate because I had 113 elective credits. I had nothing that was really going towards a degree. It was going to be basically just a liberal arts degree. But then my senior year, they opened up a exercise and sports science with pre-chiropractic emphasis was the major. So then I was able to fall into the exercise and sports science category to be able to get that as my degree.
Oh, wow. What was that experience like? Did you get involved in anything else in Iowa State, or was it just a straight up?
Yeah, I mean, I got involved in a couple of different things there. I mean, we did some intramural sports and stuff like that, kind of the typical stuff that you get into. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't get involved in as much as I probably should have. Even when I got done and I graduated from Iowa State, I didn't go walk at Iowa State. I did not walk.
Oh, really?
I did not walk in that graduation. I wasn't done. So, my quest, I guess that you could say, it was not finished. It wasn't completed. So they weren't very happy about that I wasn't going to walk. But they had so many. I mean, it's a long graduation.
I was about to say, it's probably like 500 people graduate or more than that.
It was gobs. When I was there, I think our graduating class was, man, I want to say just the liberal arts was over 4,000 people.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
That's a long day.
Yeah. I mean, they just name names all day long. So, and that's nothing against Iowa State. I love the education that I got there. It was fantastic. But like I said, I just wasn't done. So I wasn't going to walk until I went to get my doctorate, which was going to be at Palmer.
Oh, okay. So you got your Bachelor of Science.
Yep.
At Iowa State.
Yep.
On the sports and.
Exercise, sports, science.
Okay, and then you went to Palmer.
Yep. Then I went to Palmer after that
for your doctorate.
Yes.
Which that was specialized on the chiropractic.
Yep.
Okay. How many years for that?
So Palmer does it different. We do trimesters there. So you're going to school year round. So you do 10 trimesters there. It's a total of 3,600 class hours that you do. So it's a long program. But because you go year round, you're not taking any breaks. So you're done in 3 1/3 years is what it ends up being.
Walk me through that. So at Palmer, I'm assuming that's when you break the spine into so many different pieces.
Basically, yes. So about the first year, I would say, the first 3 trimesters is all books, meaning that you're going through all the anatomy, the biology, physiology, all of those things. You're not touching anybody. You're not even touching really a spine. I mean, you're going to go through, we had spinal class where we would actually see like the spinal bones and things like that, but you're really not touching much of anything. You're just getting educated significantly at that point in time. At 4th trimester, then you start to go into like your real kind of meat and potatoes anatomy. That's where you're going into cadaver labs and things like that we had at that point in time. So that's when you really start to get educated to that side. But you don't actually touch people and start adjusting until 7th trimester, which leaves you 3 trimesters.
I was about to say, you get to 10th and then you're done.
Yep.
Do you think that's better, educating that way, or the practical is better?
I do. I mean, I really appreciate the way that Palmer educated us. I mean, to learn all of the books, all of that stuff at the very beginning. This sounds kind of bad, but it does weed out some people as well. I mean, if you can't get through the education side of that part to understand, physiologically what's going on with the person and be able to tell, is this something that's chiropractic related, or do I need to refer this person to a different doctor? That is where you kind of learn that.
Okay.
If they were to reverse that and have you just start putting your hands on people right away, I think you would start to get to a point where you feel like you can fix everything for people. And I think one thing that a doctor has to always be is to be humble and be able to understand, when do I have to get the person to someone else if I can't help them.
Interesting. Where's Palmer? Where's that college at?
Actually in Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's the very first chiropractic school that ever came online in the United States. So, yep. Yeah. They're considered what they call themselves the fountainhead, because that's where it started. So
that's where it started?
That's where chiropractic started. Yeah. Iowa, man.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yep. Absolutely. Huh. So now they had 3 of them, 3 Palmer sites. They had Davenport. They still have the one down in Florida. They just shut the one down in California. There was one that was out in California as well, but
they shut it down.
Yeah, it's
taxes.
You know what? It's actually pretty much what the cost of living out there was too much.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yep,
and people probably did not want to pay more. For the visits.
Yep, that's what it was. Well, not even for the visit, just to go out and get educated. They just couldn't get enough students to come out there. Everybody was wanting to go to Iowa or go to Florida to get educated. It was more cost effective.
Yeah, a private student couldn't afford it.
Yep. Yeah. There's other great schools too. There's Parker. There's Life.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some other great Northwestern, other great colleges for chiropractic.
Okay. Oh, I did not know chiropractic started in Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
After you graduate there, where you going next?
So after I got done there, the unique part about chiropractic that a lot of people don't understand is you don't have to go and start underneath somebody else. You can come out and you can doctor right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, immediately if you want to. So I had several friends that started their own practices. I did not feel personally that I was ready for that. One of my, and this is going to sound really wild, one of my best failures that I ever had in life, me and one of my good friends actually went and put in for a job to get hired as independent contractors at another chiropractic office in Iowa City.
Yeah.
I did not get picked. My friend got picked. But as an independent contractor, you're running by yourself. You're not learning underneath anybody or anything like that. And the reason I say it was a great failure on my part to not get that job was my friend, unfortunately, that office never took off for him. It was just not in the cards, didn't do well. So then he ended up picking up, going off, and he's very successful now down in Texas. But the reason I say it was a good failure for me, Dana was pregnant at the time. So I did not have for me, I didn't have the ability to be able to have that type of failure, I don't think, at the very beginning. Okay. I think that would have been catastrophic. Would have been really life-altering at that point in time to slow things down.
Wow.
So from there, I took an interview over in Council Bluffs, Iowa, went over to learn from Dr. Mark and Dr. Lynn Mao. Absolutely incredible chiropractors. They actually do a lot of education now that they go around. They do practice management, a lot of things like that. So yeah, I mean, they do fantastic things of helping chiropractors kind of learn the business side of it and the patient management side of it. So I learned from them. I was there I graduated February of 2009. I started with them at the end of May in 2009. So thankfully got hired right away, went out there and did just about 3 years, and then came here in 2012.
Oh, okay. Going back, you mentioned your wife.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
We met at Iowa State.
Oh, okay. She was going to Iowa State too?
Yep.
Okay.
She went to Iowa State. She was originally there. She was going to be going to go to veterinarian school.
Okay.
Is what she was going to do there. But paths just kind of, caught up to us there. We met each other there. And she graduated high school 1 year after me from Nevada, Iowa. And so she came there in 2001. I met her through some friends. And that's where we met.
Oh, so. She's not from Mason City either?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Okay.
She's from Nevada, Iowa. So
okay.
Which that's right next to Ames.
Okay. Okay. So now you are in Council Bluff all the way until 2012?
Yes. Yep.
When do you move to Mason City and why? What's that decision like?
So we moved here in April of 2012 when we were looking at towns. So Palmer, the other part that's great about them is they actually have like a database on all the like per capita in terms of the number of people in towns that have chiropractors. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So they do. They keep track of all that. So that way they can kind of tell you, okay, here's areas where we think that you can be successful. You can kind of draw that up yourself. There's all these different practice management groups that tell you certain numbers that you should have. Like ideally they tell you 5,000 people per chiropractor. Mason City does not have those numbers.
Yeah.
All right? And it still works, but that's what they tell you ideal. It makes it that much harder to quote unquote fail. Okay. I mean, if you find a town that has 5,000 for one chiropractor, you're going to do really well. You'll be able to succeed really well to treat a lot of people. That's one thing that we started looking at that point in time. So we started looking at some towns that kind of fit those numbers or tried to. And then one Christmas, we just took a different pathway to come back towards, we were heading back over to Davenport still at that time. So we just wanted to look at some different places potentially to go to. And we came across Northern Iowa and came through Mason City. And I was like, gosh, this is a super nice town. We came in on the west side, coming all the way across and driving all the way across. We were going to see my brother. And we were just kind of saw this town. I was like, well, let's put it on the list of ones to look at. So I started looking at the numbers. I was like, oh, the numbers look really good. Dana and I at the time, like I said, when we were in Council Bluffs, we had a really nice triangle. My family in Northwest Iowa, her family in the center of Iowa. We were along the west side. So it just worked a really nice triangle to be able to get to everybody. And basically, if you took Council Bluffs and flipped it to the northeast, you land on Mason City.
Okay. So you still have the same kind of
triangle it sets up. Yep. My parents are a little further away now. They're about 4 hours away to get there, but still works out really well. Her family's down, like I said, still in Nevada.
Okay. And so that's when you guys made a decision on April, you're landing in Mason City. Do you straight up open up your practice then?
We built it all out ourselves first. So so when we came here April of 2012, we started our build out in May, and then we opened our doors in July.
Okay.
July 13th was the very first day that we opened up.
Okay. How are you guys living from May to July before your first check comes in? Saved a bunch of money from Council Bluff.
So Dana would love for me to repeat this part. We had the spending freeze of 2010. So that was where we spent like nothing.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
piling up cash.
Yeah, we were just trying to pile up cash as much as we can.
Yeah.
We were living basically off of savings at that point in time. Once we got here, Dr. Mark and Dr. Lynn were exceptional to work with. When I was leaving from there, I had basically like a severance package that was built in. Patients that I had seen essentially for the entire month and a half before I left, all of those insurance payments, things like that come in, they allowed me to still collect those and be paid my percentage based on what I had for collections there. So that helped to, at least get us started here. And then, like I said, just off of savings. So
tighten up your belt.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, the spending freeze of 2010, that one will never be forgotten.
Because you mentioned Dana was pregnant. So do you guys have a kid by this time or not?
We would have by 2010. So we had Maddie in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you coming over here, you already got your firstborn.
Yep.
And you kind of don't have a job.
Basically I don't. Yeah. When you say it that way, it was super scary. But I mean, we had our job at that time was to build out our office.
Yeah.
So and I've talked to you about this and shown you everything that we did in here, we did ourselves except for the brick wall that's up front. I hired that one done. But otherwise, all the build out of the walls, her dad, my father-in-law, Doug, he came in, helped me a ton with framing, with doing all of the different stuff. We, did the flooring in the bathroom. We did a ton. We were also very fortunate that the landlords that we have here, Mike and Mary Momberg, incredible people. They helped us out with some things that we weren't advanced enough to be able to do. He had some guys that just, on a handshake and a smile, just helped me out with a couple of things. They're like, you're doing it kind of right, but we can help you out and get some other things done correctly. So.
Wow. It's interesting how much stuff you can get done and you can become an expert when you're broke.
Oh yeah. Man, I tell you what, I don't know how many YouTube videos I went through to learn how to hang drywall, to do carpentry, to do all those things. Because like you said, we had 2 nickels rubbed together between the two of us at the time. So yeah, like I said, we learned a lot of stuff. Is there things I would do over again? Yeah. When I look around at it, because it's things I built out, it's like, boy, I could have done this a lot better. But
yeah. Did you guys have a picture in mind how you want the place to be?
We did. We did. Yeah. It's built very similar to what I practice like in Council Bluffs.
Okay.
Yep. Very similar, reminiscent to what I learned from Dr. Mark and Dr. Lynn over there.
Yeah.
So it's set up similar to that. There's some differences, of course. I wanted to make some tweaks for myself, and Dana did as well. Some, but yeah, otherwise it's very similar to what we were doing there.
Always thought about working with your wife?
Yeah, I really did. And again, that wasn't just from emulation from the husband and wife chiropractor that I was working for there. But
so that's what they did too.
Yeah, okay. I should have specified at the beginning. Yeah, Dr. Mark, Dr. Lynn, they're married as well. Yeah, fantastic people. But yeah, Dana and I, she'd seen that, how well they work together. And the nice part here is obviously we have very different roles to do. She is absolutely magnificent when it comes to scheduling people, taking care of people with insurance, questions that they have, that
customer service.
Yeah, she is exceptional with that.
Oh, absolutely.
So she was in property management before we came here, so her ability to work with people from a service standpoint is unreal.
And boy, you need that. You put the wrong person doing the customer service, you're going to see how much your money is going to start drying up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. So and we always joke, that front wall is there for a reason. It's to separate us a little bit as well. I have my tasks that I have to do.
Yeah.
She has hers that she has to do, and we can't be telling each other what to do all the time.
Stepping on each other's toes.
Yes.
You mentioned your mom, that she was in healthcare. What did your dad?
My dad, so the great story about my dad's he was an excavator.
Okay.
He always called himself a lowly dirt pusher, but I think he takes credit over work. Yeah. He takes credit away from himself, I think, a little bit on that though as well. My brother and I, we've always told him, like, you don't understand, man. I was like, what you did, supported everything that we could ever become and everything that we ever wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wish he'd give himself a little more credit on it. And he has started a little bit now in his older years, but so he's excavator. So yeah, everything that I learned was, all farm related. So he did mainly terraces, waterways, construction sites, as he's leveling those things off, getting them ready, doing the dirt work first before any type of construction could be going up on those things, taking out tree lines for people, did everything by himself.
For how long?
Oh gosh. That's a great question. He came back from the service with my mom and my brother in like 80, I believe. And
what branch?
They're both Army.
Okay.
Yep. He came back, I believe, in 80, 79 or 80. And then he just retired here 4 years ago, I think. Well, no, it would have been maybe a little bit more than that. Maybe like 2018, 2019, he retired and finally sold off the equipment. And yeah, so.
What is he doing now?
Well, he was doing a lot of fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yep, just retired. Him and my mom just kind of hang out at home, and got himself a little dog, which we never had a dog in the house the whole time that I grew up.
Oh, he got a dog after retirement?
Yeah, a dog in the house. We had outside dogs, but we never had a house in the. We always wanted a house in the dog, or a dog in the house. And then he ends up at that point in time, he decides at 70 or 65, 66 years old, he wants to have a dog in the house. Like, all right, you're a totally different person from what I remember.
Yeah. How many siblings you got?
Just one. I got one older brother. Yep.
And you just got 2 kids?
Yep. Just 2 kids. Yep. 15 and 9. Yep.
Kind of follow the tradition?
Yeah, I guess.
How many siblings Dana has?
Dana has she has an older brother, she has a twin brother, and she's got a younger sister.
Oh, so she's a twin?
Yeah. She got a twin brother.
Okay.
Yep.
So now you open up the doors here July?
Yes.
2012.
Yes.
When you have your first patient?
That day.
Oh, that day?
Yeah, that day. That's why I consider that my opening day.
Okay.
It was one thing I had learned from some practice management groups. They said, don't open on a day that you don't have someone scheduled or you're going to feel terrible.
Oh.
So yeah. So I had.
So
I had
you
a
already
person
had somebody scheduled, and
Yep.
then
That was
you
going to be my
open up.
first day. Yep.
But I thought at this point you already got a whole bunch of experience, though, because you already
I did.
done
Yeah.
a lot of work.
Yeah, I had done a lot of work in Council Bluffs. I had practiced for, like I said, almost three full years that I had done there. So, and that had helped out tremendously. I mean, I really understood the patient management side of things at that point in time. The business side of things, you don't, that gets kind of brought not up front so much with you when you're just learning how to doctor, and then you start to get some of that later on. But really, maybe the last 6 months that I'd really talked with Dr. Mark, Dr. Lynn about the business side of it when I was there.
Okay.
So then you still got a lot to learn when you open up your doors.
From 2012 until now, technology changed a lot. A lot of things change. How much this industry changed?
So that's the unique part for chiropractic, because chiropractic means, done by hand. I mean, that's what it is. So everything's done by hand. So there are certain things that have come out as far as like there's different adjusting tools and things like that are there. But there's a lot of adjustments that are done exactly the same as they were.
Really?
Yeah, when the founders were doing them. When D.D. Palmer, that's the originator, and then his son B.J. Palmer, when those guys were doing it, a lot of those techniques are still very, very similar. So that hasn't changed that much as far as helping you for diagnosis. Even if you think like X-rays haven't changed that much.
No.
In the time frame from when I started, it hadn't really changed at all. I mean, there's a lot more digital X-ray that they do now, but that's the only thing that I've changed technology wise that would be substantial. Is we started with plain film X-ray that I had to run through a processor and use chemicals and stuff like that in the back. And I don't have to do that anymore. I use digital X-ray now, but I just got that 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Human spine will never change.
It has not. It has not changed very much. No, it really hasn't. So the way that we adjust it, the way that we treat it, I mean, there's a few different takes on techniques, but yeah, I mean, it's still done relatively similar. So tables have changed quite a bit. I will say that mine hasn't. That's the same table that I started with 12 years ago, but those have changed from when they first started doing them with how we have drops in them and things like that now. That's changed quite a bit, but that's still been around for decades.
How much did COVID affect your business?
We didn't get affected too terribly bad, in all honesty. I mean, obviously the amount of people that we had coming in went down because people were scared, and rightfully so at that point in time. I understood it. We had 1 week that, that's when kind of the government had said, hey, we want everything shut down for a little bit of time. And then, we were still considered, and I hate using this term, but we were considered essential. Man, everybody during that time was essential. Everybody was. But we were in that essential group, that they had. So we were opened up and still running through COVID the whole time there. We had altered some things there. Obviously, we masks up. We were doing so much treatments to the table that I wore out the top covers of my table, so I had to get those replaced and stuff. But that was really the only thing that changed. A lot more education, I would say, that we did at that point in time. Okay. I mean, just educating people how their nervous system and immune system works together to keep them healthy and to make sure that they're doing the right things to stay healthy.
You mentioned about somebody named Palmer.
Yeah.
So does the college named after them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So they were the founder?
Yep. D.D. Palmer was the original guy that started it up. So was
father and son type of thing?
So he started there, and then his son is considered the developer. He's the one that kind of started pushing more to get the college accredited, to get everything kind of moving further along and really start to bring it into the forefront and try to get it into the mainstream as much as he could. So B.J. Palmer was the big developer of chiropractic care and the school in there.
And one of your kids is interested in become
a little bit. So my daughter she's huge in animals, so she wants to be a vet. But she has looked at, like, she'll watch these videos of chiropractors treating animals. So she wants to do that, and what you can't do.
That's big too now.
Yeah. It really is. So the only stipulation that they have is you have to have. You have to do it. Usually, you're supposed to be doing it in a vet's office, or you can do it, as like a setup place where where you're doing it at somebody's farm or something like that. And, you know, people bringing their animals to you to be adjusted there. So she's been looking into potentially doing that side of it. I always joke with her. I was like, I think you're too much of a people person to solely work with animals. Yeah. So I'd, you know, if she does it, great. She's got a lot of other things that she's wanting to do though. She's thinking about being a teacher. She's wanting to be a pediatrician. And I told her, keep all those pathways open. My son, he's into it. I mean, he thinks it's a very interesting profession. He's still 9. You know, he tells me he wants to run a canine unit is what he wants to do. So I was like, you want to chase people with dogs? He's like, oh yeah. I was like, he's like, I don't want to just take it. He's like, I want to do search and rescue with them. I was like, oh, I was like, all right. I was like, that's cool. I was like, that's fantastic. So
he's going to change his mind the next about 20 more times.
Exactly.
Until he gets what is your thought about the practice of the strap they put on your head and yank your spine?
Yep, absolutely.
It looks painful, and then it looks like people are so relieved of some type of pain.
Yeah, totally legit.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, legit technique that they use. Yep. I actually have the strap in the office. I do not adjust that way with it. I use gentle traction with it. But yeah, it's called a Pedibond Y-axis traction strap. And
why would somebody need that?
So if somebody has severely compressed cervical spine, it can help quite a bit through there. If you watch the chiropractor use them, usually they'll bolster the hips, which means that they're kind of securing you onto the table. Yep. And they'll pull with enough force that they can actually get some release into the low back. It is legit. Now, it is a very aggressive adjustment. Not everyone is tailored to be able to take that. Some people don't respond as well to it. I've had it done to myself. I didn't find it to be the most enjoyable experience, but I never, you know, shut down someone else's technique. If it's working for people, absolutely.
It looks like, but again, it's recorded and everything else, so you really don't know if it's legit or not. If those people their pain get relieved or not. So it's like I'm always kind of.
Yep, absolutely.
Worrying about that. So, because I seen that a couple of times, and I was like, oh, this look like
Yep, it is legit.
Interesting experience.
But yeah, potentially is. So yeah, but there are certain people that do really well with it. So yeah, but I do not. I've had people ask me to do that to them, and I let them know I have not been educated to practice that way. I do not know that technique. So
people ask you to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, it's just something that I don't do. I've never gone to the seminars and been trained appropriately on how to do it, the amount of force, those type of things. So I have not.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. I just use gentle traction. We just kind of stretch people out a little bit with it.
Okay. You mentioned pain is not a reliable indicator of overall health.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Expanding that. You say if you don't feel pain, does not mean your health.
Yeah, exactly. So the way that I kind of try to explain this to people is if you solely used pain to indicate how healthy you are, humans are pretty resilient. Yeah. There's certain types of disease processes that we have going on in our body that are not going to show us any pain whatsoever until it is way too late. You know, for instance, anything that's going to be internal organ, you might not have any pain until you are way too far along in the game to make substantial changes to that. So then you're in complete recovery mode at that point in time. So if you wait solely for some type of pain symptom to show up before you ever have it addressed, you could be doing yourself a significant disservice for your health. So, and that's why I always tell people we try to do things more on a preventative standpoint here to make sure people are trying to stay as healthy and well as they possibly can. So the other analogy I'll let people kind of know is like, if you just eat garbage all the time for 5-6 years and you get overweight and then you finally notice that you're overweight, how long is it going to take you to lose all of that weight again? It's not going to be eating, 1 week of healthy meals and all of a sudden all that weight's gone. Mm-hmm. It's going to take you some time to make change to that. So if you wait for those symptoms to come on, you're like I said, you're doing disservice to your health.
What is your recommendation then for just people to come see chiropractor even though they are not in any type of pain?
Absolutely.
Preventive measure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I usually tell people most ideal time frame is going to be sometime between 10 and 14 years old to at least have your spine assessed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To have your spine assessed at some point in time then. Most notable juvenile scolioses are setting in at that point in time. That's abnormal curvatures to the spine that are not always detectable through physical analysis only. you might need a set of x-rays to see what's going on with those areas. And chiropractic, along with physical therapy, are great for trying to make some changes to those curvatures before they start to get really bad. So that's why I tell people that you should at least be evaluated. Doesn't mean you need to be seen regular, but just to have an evaluation of an adolescent at that point in time is I think very intelligent for prevention of potential abnormalities of curvatures or whatever may be going on. Just have them assessed there. I've had parents 3-4 days old, they're bringing their kids in here just to have them looked at. If they had a traumatic birth process or anything like that, and they want to have them assessed, we look at children as young as that as well, just to smooth that pathway as they move through life.
Would I be fair to say huge portion of chiropractic practice is just spine?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Absolutely. Okay. That's where it all starts.
Yeah.
The best way that I can ever explain something to somebody is we're nervous system doctors. We're really trying to assess how well is your brain getting out the information through the spine. So that's where it all starts. Now there's a tremendous amount of other things that go with it, as far as like nutrition. We always talk about physical fitness levels and things like that as well. Stress management is a small portion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a lot of chiropractors that go into stress management programs with people and trying to help them out with those things as well. So
stress can affect your spine?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you think about the amount of tension that you have that sits like in the mid part of your shoulders, just because you're feeling stressed on a certain day, even if it's good stress, like say you got a kid getting married or something like that, it's good stress to have, but you're still kind of stressed on those things. So it physically can start to cause some alteration to the body. Interesting.
For somebody who is healthy, what is your recommendation? How many times can they see the chiropractor for just regular, normal adjustments?
Yeah. Great question. Usually what we look at is if we get somebody and they're stable and they don't have a lot of stuff going on, we'll look at them anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8 weeks out. It just kind of depends on the health and wellness of the person's spine. If we look at it and their x-rays are great, they're, the disc spacing, which are the gaps between the bones, everything's looking really healthy through those areas. We get them to where they feel very comfortable, because usually people, 9 times out of 10, they're coming into this office because they have some type of pain complaint. So we're grounding that first, getting that taken care of, and then helping them to stay stable. And it's going to be anywhere from that 4-week to 8-week margin for them. So and now kids, there's some kids I have in here, they're super healthy, great spine, physically fit, and things like that. We might see them, 2 or 3 times a year. It just kind of depends on what they have going on.
Yeah, because I'm so bad, man. That's why when I saw when you say that pain is not the measure that you're healthy, I was like, oh, that's me. Because I don't show up here until I'm in pain.
Yeah,
and I think that's a horrible way to live.
Well, I'm telling you what. Almost everybody.
It's human nature.
It is. It's human nature. And I always tell people a lot of people use a 40-40 rule, which means the first 40 years of their lives, their health is untouchable. They can recover from almost everything. Mm-hmm. And then the following 40 years, we're recouping what's happened. We're trying to recover our health back again. We're trying to make up for everything that we did in that first 40 years.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you can recommend maybe for day-to-day that people can do to have healthy spine?
Yep.
Because I'm a horrible and slouching when I sit down. And
any type of stretching program, if you're seated in a chair for any amount of time that's greater than 3 hours, any type of stretching protocol that you can go through is going to be fantastic. Something that's going to stretch out the front side of the legs in particular.
Okay.
So the hip flexors, so basically the top part of your thigh, everything kind of shortens up a little bit more as we're seated for elongated periods of time. And then that's what curls the spine forward, causes poor posture, lets gravity kind of win the battle. And if we want to fight those things, standing desks are great, but you're still in one position. So you want to create mobility. I tell people if we don't move, our body's going to start to break down faster and faster. So, it's kind of move it or lose it type thing. So you want to get up, get moving. So any type of
movement.
Yeah. Any type of movement based exercise that you're going to do doesn't have to be weight bearing. Doesn't have to be extremely physical, but something that just gets you up out of a chair, stretching your body out. Yoga programs are fantastic, absolutely fantastic to add in.
You recommend that for men?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And some guys, might not be comfortable in a yoga studio because it is heavily dominated by women that are going to be attending those things. So if they don't feel comfortable doing that, look up something on YouTube or on TikTok video or something like that that's going to show you some type of way to stretch at home. And it doesn't have to be very long. I always tell you, 3 to 8 minutes of stretching that you're going to do a day does a world of good for you, especially if you're doing it in the morning and at night before you go to bed. And then the other big one, and I know you know this, put ice on. If you put ice on the low part of the back, decrease the swelling, decrease the inflammation in the low part of the back, that helps out a tremendous amount. So if you do those things, that's fantastic.
I did not know ice works that wonder.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time people will say, oh, put some hot on it. And you put some hot and
feels good while you're doing it.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, ice, it does not feel good.
No,
when
not
you're
as
doing
good.
It. Oh, boy.
Not as good. I always joke, I found the fountain of youth here. It's just really cold water. It's just all you got to do.
Yeah, because you put that ice for the first time, boy, it's a fight.
It wakes you up.
Oh, it works you up. That 15 minutes is a long time.
Yep.
But, boy, the next day, feel real good.
Yeah.
How does someone determine if they need to seek the medical treatment or they need to seek the chiropractic treatment?
First place that you're going to go, general practitioners are fantastic for those things. I mean, they really are going to be great. So wherever you have primary access, and not everybody has a general practitioner they can get into at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
Chiropractically speaking, you can get into us fairly easier. I feel, our appointment time frames are usually a little bit shorter. So we can get people processed, I think, a little bit easier sometimes. So it's a good first access point. Other great access points, though, quick care, urgent care, those are good points where you can go and try to find some of those things.
Okay.
If you're having troubles, best thing to do, call somebody. Call somebody that has a little bit more knowledge than you do on health and wellness on those things, and that can help you kind of figure out where to navigate things. There's a lot of access points that they have now that you can, they have telehealth that you can use, and then that helps as well. Those are great access points. All of those things are good access points, but have a team of people that are looking at you and try to get perspective from, each side as much as you possibly can. One that's going to be prevention and one that's going to be something that's emergent. Several times I've had people coming in here and I let them know, I was like, hey, this is what we can take care of. We can make things potentially feel a little bit better for you, but I'd also like you to go in, especially if we got people that got significant abdominal issues that are going on. I've had that a ton in here, and we get them on the table and we adjust them and they feel better, but they're like, I still have a lot of lower abdominal stuff. Well, now we gotta get you in because you might have something going on in the GI that needs to be looked at, something that I can't see on x-ray, that I can't physically, tell anything as far as a significant diagnosis. We put pressure on you there and it hurts. Who knows what we got going on? Let's get in, have an ultrasound done, have something done that can that can be looked at. So yeah, we try to field those things as much as possible.
Oh man. Do you believe the country is divided?
Yes, I do. You
do?
Yeah.
How do we bridge the divide?
I don't know, man. I wish I had a really good answer for that. But I mean, if you have something that's set up to be a two-party system, it's impossible for it to not have division. It's completely impossible. As much as people say they want to work across the aisle, how much do you really see it happen?
True.
So I think it's got to be a cultural shift. I mean, it really does. It has to be a cultural shift. And as long as people are wanting everybody around them to be better, I think that helps it tremendously. If you just really, truly want your neighbor to be just as good, if not better than you, that helps. But when you continually want to be better than the other person or have the right answer over top of somebody else, you're always going to have division.
Yeah.
And I don't like to admit that, but I think that's kind of what it is.
Plus, you got to get to know your neighbor first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's another problem.
Yeah. And that's one thing I tell people is like, I don't watch a lot of news. I don't watch a tremendous amount of media. I do some, but man, you go outside and you just open the door and you say hi to the people around you a little bit more often. Yeah. Look them in the eye and talk to them a little bit.
It's going to change a lot of things.
It's going to change a lot of things. And you're going to realize, it's not as bad as I thought it was. But yes, to answer the question, I mean, there's division. I don't get outside of Iowa very much, so I have no idea what West Coast, East Coast thinks. That's the stuff that I don't know that much about. I have no idea how those people have it. If it's different than us, I'm assuming it is. It has to be.
And if you watch in the media, then you don't get the full picture either.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Do you believe in life after death?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I think there's got to be something bigger than ourselves. To create what was here. I do. I mean, I do believe there's life after death. To the extent of that, I don't know. Can you prove it?
Yeah, I mean that's whole different.
Yeah,
that's a whole different ball game.
So I think it's just whether or not you have faith in something like that or not. And I'd be on that side that does. I do believe there's something else for us afterwards.
Cycle back to my original first question about purpose and why are you here?
Why am I here?
Why are you living? Are you living? Are you existing, Brett?
I like to think I'm living.
Okay.
Right? I really like to think that because trying to better myself every single day.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that I would say that my purpose is not only to better myself, to better everybody around me as much as I possibly can. So I think that is what my purpose is. It's not so much to a spiritual side, but more so to that physical health and wellness side.
What does Brett do for fun when he's not twisting other people's spine and their back? And what do you do for fun if you're not spending time with kids and wife?
So yeah, super easy there. I play video games. So this is why I say I can carve out time to read books.
You got the right chair for the video game? Okay.
You got to stay in good posture for video game sessions. So I got a crew of buddies that we all get together, a couple of nights a week or whatnot, and kind of ham it up on there. And
virtual, you guys play at one spot?
No, we're all online. So,
okay.
So all online games that we're doing. So,
do you have a recommendation? Because video game is big to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you have a recommendation on the right chair?
On the right chair?
Yeah.
Secret Labs make some really good stuff.
Okay, for people to use that is not.
Yep, they got some really ergonomic stuff. It's pretty solid out there.
Okay.
But you start searching into that stuff, you're going to find gobs of them that are going to be there. Anything that's got a solid lumbar support that's going to help you stay in position is good. So.
Okay, because I'm not a gamer myself, but I know people game for hours.
Yeah.
On sitting there, especially weekends. The weather is bad.
Yep.
I'm sure people probably would appreciate to know what the type of chair they need to buy.
Yep. So that's a big one. And then when you're doing those, because again, I got to practice what I preach. So I'm up and down quite a bit. So everything that I have is set up wireless so that I can move around. So my controller, my headset, everything like that. So that way I can get up, walk around. I got a weight set that's down in the basement, and I'll run over there and pump out a couple of sets of something there too while we're waiting for the game to load up into something else. And so try to stay active a little bit while you're being completely inactive as well.
How many hours you spend on a game, you think?
Oh boy.
Let me ask you this way. Is Dana complaining about you playing a video game? Not yet. Okay, so you probably don't spend.
Now there was times. When I was at Palmer, boy, I played way too much there.
So you've been playing games for years. Okay.
Yeah, I've been playing.
When did you start?
Probably in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, with the original Nintendo. Yeah, absolutely. Would have been playing back then. So been playing video games. I'm still I joke with my patients, I joke with my wife. I'm a 43-year-old kid, man. I still like that stuff.
I don't think the video game is age related anymore.
No.
It's like it's so wide range.
Yeah.
So people who are in their probably 60s, they don't play video games.
No.
But 20 years from now, you're probably going to still be playing games.
I think so. Yeah, because I use it more like a form of communication. That's how I've stayed connected with these guys that I'm playing with. One's over in Washington, one's in Michigan, one's over in Indiana. Only one guy that I play with is actually in Mason City. But they're up in Northwood, Forest City. So there's a lot of guys that are kind of spread out and stuff. So this is how we kind of unwind. And you talk about stress.
Yeah,
that's the stress reliever that we use for it. So
do you think video games is becoming like the new school coffee shop?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I could kind of see that. I could see that analogy quite a bit.
Yeah, because I mean, those older generation, they meet at a coffee shop and just talk and just.
Yep, absolutely.
And now people just like video game is.
Yeah, I mean, I still like that too. I mean, I still like the coffee shop meetups and stuff like that. But I could see that because I mean, I know a lot of guys younger, couple generations after me that are in their early mid 20s and stuff. Yeah, they'll leave social events to go home
to play.
To play games with the same people that were there.
Oh yeah,
and they add in a couple other ones.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could see that analogy being used a little bit there.
Yeah, it's big. I think the industry is going to be here for a long time.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
No, because I mean, it's just look at the age range.
Yeah,
it's like you lock in people from 9 to 48.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get into gaming.
You're into a certain kind of it. I mean, podcasting and things like that, kind of similar thing. I mean,
That's true.
This is like an online coffee shop that you got going here too.
Yes, that's true.
So yeah, I mean, everybody's got their passion, and I never hate on anybody's passion on what they're doing and whatnot. So, because I know a lot of people don't like video games.
I think it's generation thing though.
Yeah.
I think it's generation. It's almost like the generation that was here before the internet.
Yeah.
And then they say, I don't like the internet.
Yeah.
It's just like something completely new. And then people kind of afraid to ask stupid questions like, what is this?
Yeah.
What does this do?
Yep.
So it's like until you get on it, because I remember when Wii came out.
That hit everybody.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I love tennis. I can play tennis on this thing?
Yeah.
Now people just find out you play video games a lot on your free time. What else about Dr. Brett people will be shocked to know? It's like, oh, you do that?
There's probably not a lot of things. I ride a lot of mountain bike. I did a lot more last couple of years. I've dwindled off a little bit this year. There's a mountain bike race that I go and do each year. We just missed it this year. It's in northern Michigan. We actually do this Iceman competition. It's a big 30+ mile race. It's the biggest point-to-point mountain bike race in the United States. So we go and do that. It's those same guys that I play video games with. So this is our outdoor activity that we do, right?
Nice.
So I do some of that when I got some free time for those things. So
you probably appreciate the bike trail.
I do.
That
was massive.
Open up. Listen, I did not know there was that many people.
Yeah, and some of the people that I knew, from Wayne's and stuff like that were behind kind of initiating some of that stuff to kind of come around this area. Just a great job that they've done, and that's going to be huge for this area and such a great outdoor activity to get a lot more kids involved onto those things. So I really like that and very excited to do that. But so that's one other thing that I do for fun. So
okay. And of your kids into video games?
They are. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Yep. Both of them are a little bit there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Nice,
Absolutely.
Nice.
And then the other thing we do a lot, we cook together a lot. So that's the other part that the family likes to do a lot together. We very much enjoy cooking together. So
do you guys have family dish?
We do.
You like to cook?
Oh, no, not really. We actually like to make all kinds of different stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter's more the baker. My wife's a phenomenal cook. She's fantastic. And then even my son, he's already starting to kind of get into it a little bit as well. He likes to. He likes his ramen noodles with chicken in it, but he likes to do it up like different kind of styles and stuff. Tries to emulate. One of his favorite places to eat was over at Panda Express, so he likes to try to make that himself.
Yeah.
So we kind of do those things up for him a little bit at home and kind of teaching him that a little bit on how he can change those flavors a little bit. So.
Okay, nice. What do you say his favorite place is Panda Express? What are you guys' favorite place to eat in town?
To eat in town here?
Yeah.
I would say Dana loves Pasta Bella.
Okay. I think everybody in town loves Pasta Bella.
Yeah, great family out there, awesome people. My favorite place to eat, I go to Cancun by the lake, in Clear Lake. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Wonderful Mexican food place there. Good friend of ours, Raul, owns that. Love that place.
I don't think I've been there.
Right on the main park that's there, Clear Lake Park or whatnot there. So yeah, right around that area. Cancun by the lake. In Mason, I'm trying to think the place that we would go to.
You guys live here in town?
We do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we do. I'm trying to think in Mason where we go out to eat the most at, because we kind of spread it around quite a bit here.
I know. It's amazing how many places we have in a small town like Mason City.
Yeah, we do, and it is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Dana loves the Brick Oven Pizza place. We go there, every once in a while for pizza and stuff, and on whatever we're looking to go. So the kids love that Chick-fil-A came into town. They're big on that. So
yeah, I think a lot of us went nuts when that came in town.
Yep.
Anything you want to tell your patient? Anything you want to tell people about taking care of themselves that you did not?
That we didn't already cover?
Did not cover.
As long as they're staying mobile, doing a little bit of daily exercise and putting that ice on, they're doing the right things.
Okay, and you say not longer than 3 hours sitting down.
Yeah, but you want to try to curb that as much as you can.
Okay.
So yeah, I got a lot of I would say probably bankers are probably the easiest ones to kind of have to understand that is because they're seated for so long. But anybody, accountants, if I got anybody that's doing, day trading or something like that as well, anybody that's doing admin of any kind, but my teachers and stuff like that as well, I let them know, it's like, if you're longer than an hour and a half, try to stand up. If you're using standing desks, then you stand up, sit down for a while after an hour and a half, if you can stand that long, and then try to alter that as best you can. But never go longer than 3 hours of being seated straight through. And that's really hard for some people. They get into whatever they're doing for their work, whatever their job task might be. They're answering emails, and they all tell me the same things. Like, you would not believe how I can get into a zone, and all of a sudden 5-6 hours has already gone past. My day's almost over, and I haven't gotten out of the chair. And then they have to unfold themselves out of there to stand back up.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because sometimes I'm in the zone. And I'm so busy. Like you say, before I know, it's 4 or 5 hours just went by. I joke with myself sometimes. It's like, man, maybe I need like an electric shock. It's like it's going to be set up every 2 hours and 50 minutes, just going to shock me. Get up. And what do you recommend on things like that?
So what I usually tell people to do is you can use your phone as a
timer.
Yeah, as a timer, and just have it set up every 3 hours. If your work day, whenever your work day starts off or whatnot, and you just have alarms that are set in there, and it just buzzes something that does that. There's a lot of bands that they have now, or watches that they have now that'll monitor that for you. Those are great devices as well. Because it's going to monitor how much you've actually moved, and it'll give you a little buzz that does tell you, hey, if you haven't moved very much, get up, move around. So I've seen some of those, those devices that got apps on them that help for those things. But yeah, otherwise, just an old fashioned time, like an egg timer that you can set for an hour and a half. And then as soon as you hear that thing ding, it's like, all right, I just got to get up. I just got to move around, or you finish what you're doing right there, get up, move around a little bit, just kind of keep mobile.
Okay, I forgot to ask you, when did you guys get married?
Dana and I got married in December of 2007.
December.
Yeah.
You guys from Iowa, man. Why do you get married on the wintertime?
You want to know why?
Yeah.
I didn't have to decorate the church. It was cheaper that way, buddy. You got to remember, we had those spending freezes.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we love Christmas time as well, and so the crazy part, Dana's birthday is the 20th of December. So yeah, we have our anniversary, her birthday, and then of course Christmas and stuff. And we both just love Christmas. We like the colors, and that's what we were gonna have for our wedding colors and stuff. So it just made sense. Both of us are from families that have a lot of farmers and stuff like that in them as well. So you try to avoid harvest. So like October and stuff like that's out the window. You're not getting married then. So when we were looking at it, and that's what we chose is to get married in December. So
nice.
Yep. So it'll be 17 years this December.
Oh wow. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats. Well, man, if you don't have anything else to talk about, that's all I had, man.
This was fun, man. I had a lot of fun doing this.
I appreciate, man. I appreciate you sitting down and on your day off.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, not a problem.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Brett.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
All right.